So I'm pleased to be joined with Stirling John, and you're a Canadian artist. We love highlighting Canadians here on the station. And you have this new song called Every Day that's out right now that we've been hearing on CHVN. And can you just tell us, like, what's the heart behind this song? Why did you write this one?
So this was actually written by a good friend of mine, Dave Peterson, and he had written it for a coworker of his, who is a Edmonton City Police officer, Arlene O'Melian, and so we performed it at her retirement, and I think she did about 43 years service or something with the Edmonton City Police, and she was the longest serving female police officer with EPS. So it just became I was like, we have to record this song because it's so applicable to, you know, my life, pushing and, juggling so many different hats and careers and family. And, sometimes you're tired. And it's just a song that will really connect with many people that are, just going through the daily grind, and just pushing through. And sometimes they're finding it hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I felt it really important to release that song.
And you had mentioned like you wear a bunch of different hats. So you're a police officer for those that don't know. So you're doing that. You're a musician. So how does one end up mixing those careers? Because it doesn't seem like they naturally would just go together for a lot of people.
Yeah, so here's how life works for me. I'm a single dad of two kids. We have a 50-50 parenting schedule. So I try to always make sure I'm juggling, my work with my family life because my time with my kids is most important. And then where do you find the time to record music is the other thing. And I record in Calgary, but in Edmonton as well. And Calgary has been primarily where most of my music's been recorded. So I work a 2-day, 2-night schedule, 4 off, on call as a helicopter tactical flight officer as well, 24/7 at times. And then on the days off, I spend that time with my kids. So the time I record is when I switch from my day shift to night shift. So for instance, today I'm going to be working nights. So I kind of have the day off. So what I'll do is I'll drive to Calgary at 6 a.m. in the morning, record, and get back to Edmonton by around 3 to 4 p.m., sleep for an hour and a half, and then work a night shift and then go till 6 a.m. the next morning. So sometimes you're up for quite a while. And this is how I've been doing things for the last couple of years. That way it doesn't interfere with my time with my kids. And I'm doing I'm able to really maximize my time. And so, yeah, the lyrics of this song are so applicable, to my life, because there's times where you're just driving to work here and you're thinking those early mornings never did come easy, or getting going long before the sun. And the lyrics of the song just always come back. But there's times where you feel like you're not making that traction, making that headway. And many people feel that. I feel it at times too. And I think we have to be good with those moments because they're teaching points for us to learn from. And when you look back at the end of the day to see what you've done, how you've affected people's lives in a positive way, mixing music with policing in the communities, I have a great opportunity to really affect some level of change within our communities through music, and that's what we do. So, yeah, it's an exciting song, and it's got such an applicable message to communities.
Absolutely. And just for you, like you said, it's so intertwined with your own life, your own story too, of just being a police officer, having the music. And yeah, I love that you talk about like the dedication too, because I'm sure getting up and going on an hour and a half of sleep probably isn't the most fun thing to do all the time, but then it's like it's worth it, to have the time with your kids, to have your job that you love to do and the passion that comes from that.
Well, it's funny. It was over 2 years ago. My daughter, I drank a lot of energy drinks to get through the days, and I loved Red Bull.
Mm.
But my daughter was like, "Dad, you're drinking a lot of Red Bull. Maybe it's not a good idea. You should probably stop drinking Red Bull." And I was like, man, this is actually tough for me. I feel like I was addicted to Red Bull. So I made my daughter a promise. And I said, you know what? You're right. I need to stop drinking energy drinks because I was really using it as a crutch to get through the days and juggle and maximize my energy. And I made her a promise and I stayed true to that promise. So, that was over 2 years ago. So we're hitting 25 months of no energy drinks.
Wow.
Um, and it was tough for like 6 weeks. Like, I'm like, I really rely on energy drinks to get me through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And there was those same moments where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not sure I can do without energy drinks, but we did. And that's why you have to make positive life health decisions too, and just find ways that we can improve ourselves ongoing. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. So cool. So, like we were saying, you have this new song called Every Day. If someone wants to follow along with you and just kind of keep up to date with new projects that you have in the works, where can they find that?
So I'm on all the social media platforms, Spotify, iTunes. My website is www.stirlingjohn.ca, and we'll upload future dates that we have for shows on there, and also links to all my other platforms as well.
Sounds good. Do you have anything special in the works you can tease for the viewers, or that's the secret that you got to
So,
go find?
as if my life didn't get busier, my daughter's also a music artist, and she's up and coming, and she's releasing her first song in February 1st.
Oh, that's
So my life got a little bit easier, or not easier, busier, because I'm supporting her in helping her with her music career as well. So um, I've been busy with that. We do have lots of other music that we'll be hitting the studio with as well. Um, I guess the only thing for me is I have to have a shoulder surgery on my arm here. So it's going to knock me out of commission from playing guitars for a couple months. So that's what I'm going to be dealing with coming up. But we're going to do it every day, and we're going to record more music. And yeah, I look forward to another release by the summertime. So
oh, so cool. So you're kind of just touching on that. So your daughter's releasing music. So what's that like for you now to see like your children living their dream, which was also your dream, and having that like common bond?
yeah, you know what? I'm so proud of my kids, and to see my daughter really embrace her talent. I want to see her succeed in everything, and my son too. And yeah, I stand behind her 110%. And it's just a proud dad moment, to see your daughter growing up and pursuing her passions as well. So yeah.
Oh, so cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, taking time out of your schedule and your day off. And yeah, so you have your song Every Day. You can be hearing that on CHVN. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much. And thanks so much for supporting my music. I really appreciate it. And for the listeners who reached out and let me know how much the music means to them, you know what? I appreciate that, and shared it with as many people as possible.
Just keep it going, right?
Yeah, you bet.